Hi YouTube, it is Jasmine Marie, and today I'm here to discuss episode 3 of Porsha's Family Matters. So we're about to go ahead and dive right on up into this thing because, honey, it was messy. So let me go ahead and drink my seltzer. All right, y'all, so let's dive right on into this thing right here. So the episode opens up and Lauren and Lundy, they're catching up and they're talking about the barbecue. And through this episode, what I've learned is I fucks with Lundy, right? Okay. I feel like Lundy, I think that's her name, Porsha's cousin, on Porsha's dad's side, she's very realistic, which is why I also like Lauren. They're very realistic people. So Lauren and Lundy, they're talking about the barbecue, and Lundy's like, the barbecue was really weird. I felt really sorry for Dennis. I hope Mexico isn't like that. And they're trying to figure out a way to basically get Dennis to Mexico. So they're actually, I believe, at Lauren's house. And then Lauren calls in her mom, and she tells Lundy, let's get my mom's opinion on what happened at the cookout. So the cookout was the ending of Porsha's like 40th birthday barbecue thing, yada, yada, yada. So Lauren's mom, she comes out and Lauren's like, Mom, what'd you think of the cookout? And I will say throughout this episode, I feel like we learned that Lauren has a really good relationship with her mom. I feel like on Housewives, I don't think I ever got to see Lauren's mother or her interact with her mother. So I do like in this episode, we got to see Lauren interact with her mom. And I feel like her and her mom have a really good relationship. And I feel like Lauren's mom, like even when Lauren asked her, what is your opinion of what happened? What do you think about what happened at the cookout? I feel like her mom's response was obviously very mature and just like, again, realistic, which we kind of see where Lauren gets her realistic behaviors from, right? So one thing that Lauren's mom, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was just basically giving her opinion on what she saw. It was nothing like overly harsh or harsh at all. But then when her mom was done, I think in Lauren's confessional, Lauren was basically like, Porsha's decisions are affecting other people, and they're affecting them in a not so good way sometimes. So one thing that I did also feel like throughout the episode, I felt like Porsha had an unrealistic expectation. It's just, I feel like Porsha feels like I want to co-parent. And because she wants to co-parent, she doesn't care how she goes about it. She just wants to make sure it happens, which, okay, I get it. As parents, yeah, we don't care how it happened. We just want it to happen. But I think what Porsha doesn't understand is it takes time, right? So I think she wants it to happen every night. Overnight, she just wants it to be like, oh, Simon's cool with Dennis. Dennis is cool with all of what's going on, and we good. We got a blended family. Because I feel like Porsha's also using the word so loosely, like, oh, we're co-parents, we're blended family. And I think no matter what the situation is, no matter how good or bad a relationship is between two parents who are no longer together, I still think it takes time to get there. So I don't think it's something that happens overnight, because the relationship ended for whatever reason in any situation. Let's say, you just have two regular people and the relationship ends. Somebody still has hurt to get over. And then there's another hurt and jealousy to get over sometimes when they enter in new relationships. So I feel like at this stage, Dennis, although I don't feel he wants Porsha, I feel like, and I'm not going to be like, oh, he's jealous of what she has. I think he's starting to realize that, he let Porsha go and maybe he still wants her, right? I kind of am starting to feel like that. So again, they're in a situation where they have to get there. So the Porsha's acting like, oh, this is all just supposed to happen. She's I feel like she's always out looking for that Cinderella story, right? And, it just takes time. So she has to trust the process and be patient, and everybody isn't going to be where she is. So I think when Lauren says, like, her decisions are affecting other people, I think that Lauren hit the nail on the head with that. Anyways, Lauren, her and Lundy, they're still talking. Lauren tells Lundy that she wants Dennis to go on the trip. And I hope that girl name is Lundy, because I'm calling her Lundy, right? So she talks about how she wants Dennis and Simon to go on the trip. And then Lundy, she goes, I love Dennis. And then Lauren goes, yeah, I love Dennis too. And, I kind of felt like throughout the episode, I started to, like, I didn't realize how close Lauren and Dennis like were, right? And it seems like Lauren is Team Dennis, and I feel like what I like about Lauren, I like that Lauren has her own opinion. In spite of her own opinion, she does still support Porsha while being honest, right? So I feel like, I don't know, but just while I was watching the episode, I kind of felt like Lauren didn't really like Simon. But I could see why she wouldn't like Simon, because the situation is trifling, and maybe secretly she feels that Simon put her sister in a trifling situation, right? So I kind of feel like, okay, I can kind of see if Lauren doesn't like Simon, I see why. But I just felt like on this episode, it was more evident that she didn't like Simon. So that was interesting for me, right? So anyway, Londi starts talking about Dennis's robe. So apparently, Dennis still has some items at Porsha's house. And Lauren made a good point. She was like, Porsha, that's a little weird to me. Like, anything that my ex has, the moment we break up, it gets out of my house. Right. Who in the hell is still holding on to their ex's stuff? Like, I feel like that's really weird. And the way Porsha is so adamant about maybe not getting it back to him, or like, I don't know why she wants to hold on to it, but that's some weird shit. So I feel like, sis, when Simon ain't around, are you secretly walking around and Dennis shit? Like, what's the point of holding it? Like, give the man back his stuff. Like, when he comes over to your house to bring PJ, give him his stuff. Let him get his stuff. When you take him to PJ and y'all do y'all meetups and drop-offs, give that man his stuff. So that's very, very, it's just so crazy to me how Porsha, like, does not want Dennis to have his stuff back. So anyway, Lundy and Lauren, they devised a plan to tell Dennis, basically, we'll give you your stuff back if you come on the trip, right? So Lauren and Lundy then come up with a plan how they're going to steal the robe, how they're going to sneak in Porsha's house, steal the robe, and yada, 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 right? So they get to Porsha's house, and Porsha's with her assistant, Lauren. So not her sister, Lauren, but her assistant, Lauren. And her assistant is pretty much distracting her while she's cooking. And Lauren and Lundy somehow sneak up the stairs. They find all the stuff. And Porsha's house it's a big house, but it's so much stuff in there. It almost looks like a storage unit versus a house. So it's crazy how much stuff is in there. So it looked like it took them a long time to find that stuff because it was just so much shit in there. So anyway, they find the stuff. They get the stuff and they leave without even saying hi or anything to Porsha. They just get the stuff, they leave. So then it goes to commercial, and when he comes back, Porsha's in the kitchen cooking a Nigerian breakfast for her fiance Simon, right? So she's in the kitchen with her mom. She's cooking. She's smelling the peppers, etc., etc. And then Simon comes, and she gives Simon this, like, bunny rabbit pet. I don't know, but to me, I'm not going to lie. It seems so fake. Like, the overly excitement to see him, the kiss, the hopping around with it. It was a bit much. It was a bit much. It was like, During editing, could they have made that felt a little bit more real? Real? I don't know, but it was a little weird. So anyways, they're talking about, throughout breakfast, they're talking about the upcoming trip. And then Porsha tells her mom how Lauren wants Simon and Dennis on the trip, and how she hasn't mentioned it to Dennis, or how she hasn't mentioned it to Simon yet, yada, yada, yada. So then Simon comes and they start talking, and Porsha's mom kind of opens the door for Porsha to invite Simon on the trip. Porsha tells Simon that Lauren wants him and Dennis on the trip. Simon, is in agreement with it, and he's cool, seems to be cool with going on the trip. And that pretty much ends on a positive note. And then we come back, and Lauren and Londi, they're meeting up with Dennis to give him his stuff. And they give him his furs, and they sit down and they're talking to Dennis about the trip. And Dennis is basically like, I don't really think it's a good idea to go on the trip after what happened at the barbecue. I just kind of want to not go on the trip. And Dennis says something like, their family always says it's a healing process, but nothing ever gets healed. He goes, they always say it's a healing process, but nothing ever gets healed. And that's true. But the thing is sometimes you can't heal something in a day, or let's say 2 or 3 days. Healing is a process. So although I get he was just being shady, healing is a process. Whatever you need to heal from is not going to happen necessarily overnight. And the issues that they kind of act like they have on the show, that isn't really something that can be healed overnight, because Porsha's family's still holding on to stuff. Dennis's mom is still holding on to stuff. Porsha's still holding on to stuff. Dennis is holding on to stuff. New stuff is arising. So, excuse me, healing is an ongoing process. So, whatever. Lauren has another convo with her mom, and they're talking about, I don't even remember what the second conversation, what they were talking about, but she does meet up with her mom again. I guess at this point, everybody's getting ready for Mexico. So she's talking to her mom about, she's like asking her mom, do you think that they'll view me as a healer? Do you think they'll take me serious? And again, she's just like looking to her mom for that reassurance that lets me know that Lauren and her mom have a, good relationship, which is really cool. So Dennis and his mom, they meet up at a crystal shop to get crystals for the trip. So while they're up there at the shop, they are just talking about things, talking about Porsha's family, talking about the trip. I also like that. I also like that Dennis has a close relationship with his mom. It's always nice to have a parent who you can be close with. So I do like what I do. Like, I don't like a lot. I don't like everything on the show, but I do like that they're displaying healthy relationships between parents and children. So granted, all the children are older and adults, but we're still seeing like Porsha talk to her mom. We're seeing Lauren talk to her mom. We're seeing Dennis talk to his mom. We're seeing, like family dynamics. Obviously, Porsha family matters, right? So that is good to see. And then Porsha, she has while Dennis and his mom are at the crystal store, screen flips, and basically Porsha and her mom, they're having a conversation about Mama Gina. And Diane's expressing to Porsha how after the barbecue, she doesn't really want Mama Gina. She don't really want to be around Mama Gina, which I feel that was a little contradictory, because, they're saying, oh, we want to go on this trip for these reasons, but now you're saying that all over basically what I feel like over was a misunderstanding because of the barbecue, all because of that. Now you're acting like you don't want to be around Mama Gina. But as I've said in previous videos, everybody's going to defend their child. Mama Gina was just defending her child, right? So then Porsha basically gets into the topic of, oh yeah, when I met up with Mama Gina, she told me that I cheated on Dennis and that you told her that. So then, of course, that sends Diane, Porsha's mom, Miss Diane, in a frenzy. And she's like, oh, after that, I definitely don't want to go on this trip and yada, yada, yada. And then at that part, it's like, okay, so we're adding drama, okay? We're not subtracting drama, we're adding drama. And of course, Porsha's going to tell her mom that, because who wouldn't? If somebody's ex-fiance said, oh, your mama told me that you cheated, or ex-fiance's mom says, your mama told me that you cheated on my son, who wouldn't have a conversation with their mom about that? But also, I wonder if Porsha and Miss Diane live together, because of course we don't know the timeline, but it seems like days went by. Wouldn't you have that conversation? Wouldn't you have had that conversation earlier? I don't 100% know how it went, but then Diane's like, I also feel like, based on what happened, when Mama Gina told Porsha that Miss Diane said that she cheated on Dennis, I feel like the manner that she told her in was different than the way Porsha repeated it back. Of course, nothing gets repeated back the same way it was said, but it definitely was not recited back in the same manner or the same way. So that starts a little bit new drama, yada, yada, yada. So, after all of that, everybody's loading up for Mexico. Earlier in the episode, Londi broke down how some of the family is Porsha's dad's side of the family, and some of the family is Porsha's mom's side of the family. So it looks like Porsha's dad's side of the family was in one limo, and Porsha's mom's side of the family was in the other limo, and Porsha was with the mom's side of the family in the limo. So they get to the Mexico hotel, and Lauren gives out room assignments. So pretty much everybody had their own room. Simon was rooming with Porsha. Everybody else had their own room. And then she says, I have a 3-bedroom suite and it's going to be Londi and Dennis with me. Now, I'm not going to lie. I thought that was a bit weird that Lauren and Dennis would be sharing a room. Even though Londi was going to be there, that's really weird. Even though it's a suite and there's separate doors and all of that, that's really weird. But I guess her and Dennis have that type of relationship. I don't care what type of relationship I have with my sister's significant others. I just don't see that I'm sharing a room with them, period. So, very, very, very crazy. So, Dennis, you know, is basically like, no, Lauren, I'm getting my own room. And Lauren's like, well, the hotel sold out. And he was like, well, I'm going to call so-and-so, I guess maybe to find a different hotel. You know, as a grown man, you know, I'm not going to share no damn room with you and your cousin. So, Dennis, I totally got it. Anyway, they showed a little screen of the room. Then they get to Lauren's room, and wow, I say all of that, and then I'm like, oh, bitch, I would have been up in that room, right? So the 3-bedroom suite was lovely, right? Beautiful, especially Lauren's room, which Lauren, as the host, she totally should have gotten the best room within that 3-bedroom suite, and she had a long pool in her room. It was just a beautiful, beautiful room. So, I was wondering why. So I was definitely like side-eyeing, like, what? When Lauren made the room announcements. And then I realized, not that I realized, Lauren said that the reason why she put Dennis with her is because basically she needed to spy on him. She needed to make sure he wasn't bringing a date. She needed to make sure this, that, and the other. So that's why she put Dennis with her. And I'm like, why? Like, I just don't get that. Like, who cares if Dennis brings a date? Porsha's sitting up here with her fiance. Y'all doing all of this. Why does it matter? Child. So basically, she was watching him for Porsha. Or I guess protecting Porsha. Anyway. Then at one point, they show Lauren room, and then Dennis goes up there. Lauren shows Dennis her room. So they get up to the pool part, and then Dennis takes off his shirt and throws Lauren in the pool. Yeah, that was a little weird to me too. That was super weird to me too. I wonder if Porsha saw that, how would she feel about that? I'm just curious. In the comments, write what y'all think, how y'all think Porsha would feel about that. Because I don't know. I'm not saying that Dennis and Lauren have chemistry, but in that moment watching that, I see how like stuff happens between people. I'm not saying that something's gonna happen between Dennis and Lauren, but I can see how like people get caught up in stuff. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I wouldn't care if that was my sister. But I'm just, the way Porsha is, I'm just very curious what you guys think. So let's talk about that in the comments below. So anyway, the group, they get ready. They're going to go to dinner. They get ready to have dinner with Lena. And in dinner, they start doing this exercise where Lena tells them to put some type of stuff on their hand and to clap twice. So everybody does that. They sit down, and then the way the table, it looks like Porsha's sitting next to Simon. Dennis is across from them. And it looks like maybe Dennis is next to Lauren, maybe, or his mom. So Porsha brings up the conversation about the robe. So she's like, y'all, Dom, I was talking to Dom, and Dom said, I'm mad as hell they got me carrying your baby daddy robe. And then, of course, at that moment, you know it's about to be some drama, right? So then Londi starts talking, and I love Londi. I feel like Londi is a real ass bitch, and I would fuck with Londi, okay? So Londi starts talking, and she's like, you don't even know what happened, yada yada yada, you don't know what's going on. We gave Jenny his stuff back so he come on this trip. So Porsha's like, well, something about genuine, and if his intentions were genuine, he wouldn't need that stuff to come on a trip. He should basically want to come on the trip because because of Pilar, like for the healthy sake of Pilar having a family co-parenting relationship. And in that moment, I just personally felt like Porsha, is using Pilar to keep Dennis around her neck, if that makes sense. That's the way I felt, because you don't have to go on a fucking family retreat to learn how to co-parent, or to so that Dennis can get along with this and all that. You don't have to do that. You can, if you feel like it's that big of a fucking issue, you can take your ass to therapy, right? So I just was like, I got a little bit, like, at that point I was a little bit turned off with Porsha, because I just felt like, if that's truly how she feels, okay. But as a parent, and we all parent different, we have our own different ways, but I just don't see it that way. I really don't think that everybody that was there for PJ. I think they were there to go on the retreat, what Lauren said, spiritual healing or whatever, and so she's like, maybe Porsha's intentions, I think overall Porsha's intentions are she wants PJ to have this healthy relationship with Simon and Dennis, and she wants Simon and Dennis to be okay with each other. But I think deep down Porsha maybe knows a little bit more than what she's saying on camera. I feel like maybe Simon really isn't okay with certain things, but on the camera they're just trying to display it and act like he is. And then we know Dennis ain't okay with certain stuff, because Dennis announces it. So I don't know, I really didn't like that. So then Porsha is just going on and on. Yeah, someone came in my house and took that robe without my permission, and that is my trigger, and da 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 da. So, Lena poses a good question. Lena asks her, she says, what is the trigger? Where's the anger coming from? Exactly. Why are you mad that you have a man who you're no longer with, you have his stuff in your home, okay? And why can't you just give it back? And I can understand why you're mad that somebody went in your house, but why are you mad that this man has his stuff back? Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I wouldn't be mad if somebody came up in my shit and took something, but if it belonged to me, right? Not if it belonged to, an ex that wants his shit back, I just want to know why Porsha, let's discuss this in the comments too. Let's discuss why does Porsha want to hold on to the robe and the jumpsuit. What is it that she wants Dennis's stuff? Because that's weird as fuck. You sitting up here with your fiance, girl, and you holding your ex-fiance stuff, and you acting like you so mad because he got his stuff back. Because if I was your motherfucking fiance, I'd be looking like, I wish my boyfriend would do something like that. Let my boyfriend turn into my fiance and he acting like he don't want his ex to get her stuff back. I'd be like, well, damn. What, you want to smell the panties? What? You wanna make it like old times where you wrap up in the rug and you wanna, pretend like, you with him? Because that right there was some weird ass shit. So anyways, Londi brings up the barbecue, and she's like, that barbecue was, I can't even remember why this came up, but she's like, the barbecue was weird as hell, and if I was Dennis and Gina, Mama Gina, I wouldn't even come back around this group. So at this point, like, Londi's mad, and then the girl Storm, which I understand why Londi's mad, because Londi like, Storm, shut up, you don't even know what's going on, and Storm is doing all of this and acting like Dennis wanted her, because she used to work with Dennis, and something about, she said Dennis is a natural flirt. Dennis said Storm got fired and came up with this story that she was trying to, basically Storm lied and said that Dennis was trying to get with her. And it just got real messy, like really quickly too, and unnecessarily. And Porsha, Dennis looks at Simon and goes, welcome to the family. And it was a slick shot, obviously. Porsha caught the slick shot, and she's like, what you mean, welcome to the family? You started all this. Dennis didn't start shit. Because really, Porsha, you started it when you brought up the fact that Dom said that about the robe. Oh, I'm carrying your baby daddy robe. Like, so you started it, you brought it up, and then you got mad when you found out Dennis had his stuff back. So now you mad and you angry and you in your feelings because you done found out that Dennis pretty much only went on the trip because of whatever circumstances, and you in your feelings. So you mad and you causing all this drama, this big argument, and then Lauren screams, stop talking about the road. If anybody else says road, you're going home. Go home. It just gets crazy out of left field. And then it ends. It says to be continued. So next week is going to start off with some drama. I wasn't 100% feeling this episode like that. Of course, I'm going to tune in next week because now I want to see what goes down after the argument at the table. Because Storm was standing up and Lonnie was like, sit down, what you standing up for? And Dennis is telling Storm, you're a kid, shut up. So it got real messy. So we're going to tune back in next week for episode 4. We're going to see where this thing goes. And we're going to keep it moving, right? That's all I got for y'all today. Y'all have a great day and toodles!